Welcome to the Rackspace Studio at TechCrunch Disrupt 2014. We're here in the middle of the expo hall with a lot of startups all around us and a lot of noise, so hopefully you can hear us. We're meeting with interesting companies and startups and innovators all for the next 2 days. And today we have Accenture on. I've never had Accenture on. You might have heard their name and wondered what the heck do those guys do. But they do a lot of really interesting consulting with mostly with big companies. And we're going to hear why are they at TechCrunch Disrupt? So who are you?
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm Jitendra Kavatekar. I'm a managing director at Accenture running an open innovation program.
Yeah.
And thanks for your time. It's great being here.
Oh, it's great having you on.
Yeah.
So what's Accenture doing here at TechCrunch?
Yeah, good question,
Disrupt?
right? Yeah. You didn't expect us here, did you?
No.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, it's the first year that we've sponsored TechCrunch in a big way. We're created an award called Best Enterprise Disruptor. Yep. And we're going to award the winner on Wednesday, right before the final Battlefield winner is going to be announced. And we're really excited to do it. I mean, it's really part of what we see with our clients. I mean, you know Accenture is a large consulting company. We work in 19 industries, anywhere from healthcare to oil and gas, banking. We work with governments around the world as well.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing out there is that, you know, every industry, every major player in the industry, and our clients are the Global 2000, so these are the largest.
Yep.
Everybody's trying to get more aggressive in their industries.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants that differentiating edge, and they want to move things forward.
Yep.
And so that's where we see all the industries going. And from Accenture's perspective, you know, we're looking for a next stage of growth. We're looking at how to go digital with our clients.
Yep.
And what that means is, who are the new players that we should be also working with in addition to the great alliances that we currently have.
No, because we know startups innovate faster than big companies do.
Absolutely.
And they build on stacks that aren't yet proven, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, for instance, Node.js was used in the startup world for a long time before really the big companies started using it in a big way, right?
Yeah, totally. And we find that to be a healthy part of the innovation cycle. There's a lot of risk associated for large companies to work with the startups, right? I mean, they can go out of business, they pivot, they change leadership. You know, the pursuit of ROI is not in the vocabulary of a startup in those early stages where it is for the large companies. The cultures are just different. These are two kind of different worlds. And I think where we play a role is how do we build a bridge between these two worlds? How do we find a way to lower the risk for our clients? You know, we're not selling services to the startup, so that's not about that. It's really about serving our clients. So how do we lower the risk? And how do we scale this thing, right? How do we go beyond just a pilot? Yeah. And when you think about the problem, it's not just, hey, let's find the startup and just introduce the two parties and let it go. No, it's a lot more than that, right? So there's that whole process.
We really are seeing a big shift in companies. For instance, Union Pacific is putting sensors underneath all the rails to understand when cars need to be maintained and to run the system, right?
Yeah.
Are you working with big companies on projects like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then taking that expertise either to startups or having startups help implement that kind of expertise?
Yeah, bingo, Robert. That's why you're so smart. You know this stuff. So, yeah, it's both ways, right? So, we want to see interesting startups that have some really interesting thing that they're doing that nobody else is really thinking about as strongly. Very passionate, the normal stuff. We're looking for passionate founders, something differentiating. But we're also looking for, so where exactly will it go, right? Yeah. And we're trying to find a way for that startup to be successful where they want to go, and for us to be able to provide all the technical integration that needs to happen for that technology to work, but then also all the change management, all the business process re-engineering for that large client, right? They have to train a whole new workforce on these new technologies. That's the heavy lifting that needs to happen to make this reality. So oil and gas industry is a classic example. Pipeline security, right? Rather than rolling trucks out there, can we have drones flying out there? Can we have sensors along the pipeline? Can we have a visual on what's happening out there to see whether it's something that really requires somebody to roll out there? You know, we work with major theme parks like Disney, and there's some good things that we've been doing there. We see retailers wanting to completely transform their supply chain. We see restaurants that want to go digital with their restaurants.
Do you focus on areas like retail? Because retail is undergoing a huge shift with beacons and with proximity-based wearables and
That's right. All the sensors and the beacons that are in the retail. Retail is probably one of our hottest areas.
Yeah.
I mean, but frankly, like I said earlier, I mean, across the board, healthcare is going through a major transformation.
Yeah, we just interviewed healthcare companies.
Yeah, I mean, major transformation, right? I mean, I think we're seeing the big shift there. I think with retail, yeah, we're seeing like, can the retailer understand that that buyer even better and deeper than they have before, which is a classic problem that retail has had for a long time. But now the technologies are there both in the store, in the retail environment, also online, and also the social behaviors, right? And how do you pull all of that together in a way that you can be much better and effective as where you're going? Oil and gas industry, I mentioned. Financial services is huge for us.
Yeah.
Financial services, I mean, there's major players that are going very aggressive on what to do there.
Yeah.
So the one pathway is to find the most interesting companies and find a path to get to the market. The other way is what you said earlier. When a client comes to us and says, hey, we're going to spend $1 billion over the next 3 years, and here's the area that we want to transform. Who should we be working with? And can you make sense of it for us, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that client is working with us.
Yeah.
And then we're working with the startups, and we're putting that whole thing together, the technical package and a technical solution, but also all the change management that needs to happen for that client to feel that they've lowered the risk and they got it at scale. And that's what this program is about. And so that's why we want to be here.
Are you doing hackathons too, or?
Yeah, there's a hackathon coming up that we're doing. We don't do as much of that, but we are considering doing more. We've been doing open innovation as a structured area for about a year now, so we're early. I mean, Accenture works with startups all over the world, right? But to kind of put some energy behind it. But you know, we partner with accelerators. We run the FinTech program in New York, London, and Hong Kong now. We just launched it in Hong Kong. So yeah, we have a lot of things going on.
Do you approach the startup, or are you hoping the startup approaches you?
Well, you know, it's like most things in a startup land. There's a bit of process and there's a bit of serendipity involved. So we get a lot by just walking down the hallway and somebody says, hey, check out my company. So we try to understand it, but really the critical question is, so what do you want Accenture to do, right? Yeah. And if that passion isn't there from that founder, then I'm not sure where to go. So we're interested in B2B companies for sure. We're interested in B2B2C companies as well, right? But it has to be, I mean, this is not just an introduction service. There has to be a win-win-win between the startup, our large client, and Accenture. Because we're in it for something as well. And I think that three-legged stool, I think, is what we're trying to build.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Great
Sounds
to be
like
here.
a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, the team is here. They're having a lot of fun with this. It's, like I said, first time we're here. And
do you guys have a website or a Twitter account or something?
Yeah, I mean, you can follow. You can find us, Accenture Labs.
So it's Accenture Labs. That's
hashtag Accenture Labs.
Because I know Accenture's a big.
Find Accenture Labs, and then we have a website that's coming up. If you just Google Accenture Open Innovation, you'll find us.
Very cool.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so much for coming in and
talking
to me about it.
It's fun. Thanks.